welcome to the Latina Moms Building Wealth series. My name is Michelle Velasquez, and I'm a financial coach and founder of Virtual Wealth Building. Before we begin with our special guest, I want to let you know that this is for educational purposes only. It should not be taken for advice. So today I have with me Diana Gaytan, and welcome, Diana.
Hi, thank you.
So Diana is she co-owns Midwest Pest Solutions with her husband. And so we just want to talk a little bit to Diana because Diana is someone that recently pivoted and left her 9 to 5 job to help build her family empire with her husband. And so I know there's some of you ladies here that are listening to us that are probably on the fence or that probably want to know a little bit about that or what is it like to work with your husband. So a little bit about your business, Diana. So if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and just a little bit about your business, that'd be great.
Yeah, so my husband and I started Midwest Pest Solutions in 2018, so about 5 years now. We service commercial and residential properties all throughout the Chicagoland area and suburbs. We started out really small. It was mostly like part-time kind of thing because we obviously had our regular 9 to 5 jobs. And then as time progressed, thankfully the business started growing. So then he decided that it was time for him to do this full time. And he started doing it full time, I think like maybe 2 years ago. And since then it has grown. We really enjoy what we do, right? Our customers, we care about our customers. And right now, our main point to grow the business is to try to get more commercial clients down the road, but obviously still be loyal to all those residential customers that we've had all these times.
And I think even like the multi-units, right? Like having just that those annual or just those every 2, 3 months to just come and take care of that. You guys do that as well, correct?
Yeah, so we do multi-unit properties. We do 2 flats, 3 flats, apartment complexes from 100 units to 300 units. Um, what we try to do is we concentrate on the problem and not just, giving you a price and going out there and spraying one time. Trying to take care of the issue at hand and really not tying you to a contract for a year that you may not even need, right? You may just need a one-time service, a service every quarter, every 5 months, 6 months. So we are very transparent with what we do and our pricing, and we try to always work within people's budgets. So yeah, that makes us a little different because these other big name companies, sometimes you have to sign a contract with them to do it monthly. So we really don't require that of our clients.
Yeah, and that's great. And I really recommend as a landlord to just have those annuals, right? Even if nothing is wrong, just give it a quick spray. I know I this summer even called you guys because I had some little ants coming through my kitchen. And I was like, I have some ants. I know who to call. I'm gonna call Diana and Giovanni. So they came and helped me. So thank you for that. So yeah, it's something that we don't think about, right? Losing you even lose money when your house isn't or your buildings are not because tenants want to move out or people see you kind of like a slumlord or something like that. So it's really important to maintain and upkeep those properties. Diana, just a little bit. I know you recently pivoted in your life. Can you just tell us about what you did and you pivoting into your 9 to 5 and what made you do that? Number one, right? You're a successful Latina. And so what made you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to pivot and leave this 9 to 5. And then maybe some action steps that you took that perhaps can help the women who are listening that are on the fence of either working with their husbands or starting a business or something like that.
Yeah, so I worked for like 10 years in the construction industry as a project engineer doing commercial buildings. And it was a career that I loved. So it was very hard for me to make that decision, right? Should I stay doing this or should I pivot and help my husband grow this business and be there to support him? And it wasn't something that happened overnight, obviously. We started talking about it like late 2022, and we knew we had to do something. We couldn't just jump the gun and say, okay, I'm gonna quit without really knowing the income and expenses, that we had in the business and in our personal lives. So the first step that we actually took as a couple, we decided to take your 3-month business coaching program. And that's where it was like eye-opening to see, hey, like this is my personal budget, this is my business budget, and this is where we need to make changes, right? Whether it be like, minimizing expenses of going out to eat dinner every weekend, or other expenses. So we really sat down and took a look at everything that was coming in and everything that was going out. And it was just, it was very hard to make a decision. So we didn't really make a decision right away in 2022. 2023 was when the business was growing, it was getting really busy, and I could see that my husband needed that support and that help from somebody that cared about the business as much as he did. So we sat down again, and he's like, we have to make a decision. And I know, Michelle, one of the things that stood out to me when we were coaching was that you said if you don't put like a timeline on it, you're never going to make that jump.
Hmm.
Right? So you have to decide what you have to do to get to that point of quitting that 9 to 5, getting out of that comfort zone. So we decided we were going to cut down some expenses. For example, like some marketing expenses for the company. And I started doing that more. And finally, my husband, June came by, July, and he's like, well, we have to make a decision. He's like, because we're getting to those months where we get really busy. And he's like, I need help. I need help in the office. And yeah, I left my 9 to 5 August of this year. So it's barely like 3 months. It's pretty fresh. But I really have enjoyed it so far because now I'm more hands-on doing the day-to-day office duties, getting that business relationships going. Definitely keeping up with the customer service and anything that has to do with the bookkeeping of the company. And definitely it's a big change and it's hard, but I would say you have to really prep for it. It can't just be out of the nowhere. You have to see um, financially where you stand and if you can even afford to leave that 9 to 5. Because obviously for us also it was so hard because of the health insurance.
Hmm.
We have a family, we have kids, so that was one of the main things for us. And we were like, can we afford my salary and can we afford health insurance? So we had to make sure that that was within our budget before I even made that jump.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go back to our coaching a little bit because I remember I love coaching businesses and I especially successful owners like both of you, that there was a will. You are a powerhouse, and I've told you this time and time again, even before off camera. You are a powerhouse. And I think the moment we started coaching and you realize you saw your budget, you saw your expenses, your profits,
Mhm,
right? Nobody was going to care more about your family business than you, and
mhm.
you are already bright in a powerhouse. So why give that to someone else when you can grow your own empire?
Yeah.
And so I really love the transition because you and I kind of left the 9 to 5s around the same time. I remember connecting. And you guys have already, when you guys came to me, you guys were already successful and profitable, right? It was just like switching a shift that we made. But in 2022, you didn't change. But what I think really helped you in the coaching was that awareness,
Yeah.
right? Of like now you laid it out, you saw it. And I think from that point on, you started to maybe be uneasy. Like, okay, like now I know, right? And like, what can I do about it?
Yeah, it's different when you're like talking about the numbers, but when you actually sit down and look at that spreadsheet and see those numbers, you're like, well, sometimes you're not even aware that you're spending that money in stuff that you could really cut down on. And thankfully, obviously, you have to make some sacrifices, and we did have to make sacrifices to get to the point we are at right now, where I was able to leave my 9 to 5. But thankfully, making those sacrifices helped us get to the point where I can now be, at home more and spend more time with my child, and also help my husband run this business, and still live comfortably, where I don't really have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck.
Like, honestly, do you feel like you're struggling?
No, I really do not feel like we're struggling.
No, you don't. And so it was all a mindset, right?
Mhm.
Because you get so comfortable, and I was in the same shoes with the government job. We get so comfortable in the benefits, and we get so stuck in like, oh my God, can we do it? No, yes, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen. Now it's how are we gonna make it happen?
Yeah.
And I see you and more relaxed, and spending more time with your son and more joyfully. And so I'm really happy for both of you for this move. I congratulate you for stepping into that, stepping into your calling of motherhood and mompreneur and running this business, and knowing that you can continue to elevate it and take it to the next level. So Diana, before we end, if you could leave the women listening to this or the audience listening to this with somebody that's on the fence that is like, hey, I really want to do this, but I just can't, like, or I'm scared, or what would you tell her?
I would say definitely, if you know you have a partner, sit down with them and actually sit down, both of you guys, and discuss this, you know, in a deep manner where it's, you know, you guys both discuss, this is what I want, this is what you want. Let's meet in the middle, or maybe it's the same thing that you guys want. And create that timeline. What do we have to do in order to get to this point? And don't just put it in the back burner and say, you know, we'll work on that next month, because time passes you by and life is just passing you by. And if you don't work on that to get to that end point, you're never going to take that jump. And it's
Mhm.
going to be scary. It's going to be very scary, because obviously change is scary because we're used to this normal, you know, life, and you just keep going with it. But trust in yourself and in your partner and in your business that you're going to do whatever it takes to make that business work. And I think just, you know, knowing that you're going to have to work really hard, but obviously it's going to be rewarding, because like how I feel, it was hard to leave that career that I loved, but this life that I have now is much more rewarding.
So much better, right?
Yes.
It's so much better. And I, before I jumped on the Zoom, I had a call with the former colleague, and he's like, "Can I ask you something? Do you miss your job?" And I was like, honestly, no, because it's so rewarding to be able to wake up, make breakfast for your family, right?
Yeah.
Make your husband some coffee, whatever it is that you do in the mornings, and just, take them, drop them off, go to school events and just show up and still know that you're still taking care of business.
Yeah, because I mean, even my son just started preschool this year, and knowing that I could have missed so many of those moments, it's like, and I did miss a lot of his, like, you know, newborn stages and all that, because I was working. But now it's like I get to go to those things, and I still get to come home and help my husband make some money and make him lunch. And now he's like, wow, like you're cooking dinner every night. This is awesome, you know?
You're
So
finding the way to the heart. You're
yeah.
keeping that heart satisfied.
Yeah. So, it's definitely a change, but it's a very good one.
Yeah, so thank you for that advice, because I think women need to see us, right? That you did it, I did it. And it's a different it's a different kind of reward, right? Like, yes, we loved our previous jobs, but you know, no one's gonna take, like I used to tell people, there's gonna be plenty of people that are gonna save the country, because I used to be a federal law enforcement officer, but there's only gonna be two people that can really save your children, and that's you as parents. And
Yeah.
as your former coach, I can tell you that I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so proud of the way you've elevated your business. I'm so proud of you as the woman and stepping into your calling, stepping into your fear, because it's not easy. People think, building wealth, and I always say it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And you said it earlier, you have to make certain sacrifices. And so there's people that are continuing to be stuck, and they have all these goals and all these ambitions of doing different things, but they just don't. Right. And so it's just getting out of that cycle, and you speaking life into yourself and affirming that I'm good at, I'm capable, I'm able to do these things. And so I just really want to tell you, Diana, on camera, that I'm super proud of you, of taking this bold move for your family. And I know your business is already successful and you guys are amazing. And you said something earlier that, one of the things that you cut was marketing, right? You guys have, I don't know how many, when I did some marketing research for you during coaching, so many amazing reviews, for you don't need marketing. When you have a business and you are constantly satisfying your clients the way you guys do with your business, you don't need to spend thousands of dollars doing it, because guess what? Word of mouth. Anytime I hear somebody that has a problem, I'm like, call Midwest Pest Control.
Mhm.
I personally use them, right? You don't need to spend so much with marketing when you're satisfying your clients, and you go back. I know that Giovanni goes back and ensures that those clients are satisfied. He wants that 5 star because he's treating people's homes like his own.
Right, yeah, and you're never like, for as a company, especially a family-owned small company, you know how it is. You actually care about the work that you do and representing your company the right way and doing things the ethical right way, not just making a buck or two out of one job.
Yep, exactly. So Diana, for any of our listeners and moms that might need some of your services or they see a little creature around there, how can they reach you? How can they connect with you guys?
You can connect with us through our Facebook page, Midwest Pest Solutions. You can give us a call at 708-439-1324, or you can shoot me an email, Diana G at Midwest Pest Solutions LLC.com, and we're happy to help you take care of that commercial residential property with all those little ugly little pests for you.
So thank you so much for taking the time today, Diana, to be with us in this little interview series that we have going on. I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate your boldness in helping us. So as always, have a blessed day.
Thank you, Michelle.